This week on Storytime at the Rear Bus, we're talking about Camping Fest versus city festivals, and we've also got a crew on that went to Shaky and a crew that went to Riot Fest. Welcome to Storytime at the Rear Bus, a weekly podcast about Bonnaroo and other festivals. I'm your host, Sharla.
It's Daniel, and hey guys, if you're watching on video, we are in a location that we have recorded many audio-only episodes from. We're out on the back porch of our house tonight. I know it looks a little bit like a hostage video or something. It's a little weird because we have these big curtains that double as walls, but it gets the job done.
Well, in fact, last year, this time, we had, 50 or so people out here?
Yeah, well, goodness, yes. So it was a little weird. We had that number of people at our house, which was, I think, the most people we've ever had one time at a party at our house or whatever. And we were all kind of in here because I had planned on having a big backyard party in the space that, I got a lot of new lights and everything. I thought we were going to have it out there, but it was pouring rain and we lost half of South Star because of it.
Yes, it was South Star weekend.
Yeah.
This past weekend was the anniversary of South Star, and unfortunately it suffered a similar fate as Bonnaroo.
Yeah, first time. I'm getting a little tired of it, man.
So we had a totem booth at South Star, and we only got to go Saturday of South Star, and then Sunday got canceled. But we had about 20 or so people actually fly in from around the country to stay at our house for that weekend. And even though the festival got canceled, I still had so much fun with all of our friends that came in.
Yeah, that was a blast. I have heard they are going to bring it back at some point. I don't think there's a firm idea on when it may be, but hey, let's run it back. If you're watching this, chances are you might have come down to Huntsville for that or even came down to our house. So we would love to have you back.
Oh, absolutely.
Can we have try number 2 for the big backyard party back here that I've been wanting to have for years?
What's crazy is this past weekend was perfect weather.
Yeah.
It was like 85 degrees all weekend, like sunny.
Punch in the gut. What is the matter with so many festivals experiencing so much rain? South Star, Rue, Burning Man, so many other ones got hit hard. What did we do to tick off the festival gods this past year?
Well, I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it on this podcast.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we're not going to get into that.
No.
But yeah, we hope we can do that again sometime soon. We're back here tonight. We're kind of taking it chill a little bit. Here in a little bit, we're going to talk with some of the crew and then some other people about festivals that they did go to this past weekend. We had a lot of friends go to both Riot Fest up in Chicago and a lot of friends go to Shaky Knees over in Atlanta. I want your take on something. Sure. I know you prefer camping festivals over city festivals, but what city festivals have you liked that we have been to, and what are some of the pros about a festival in town?
When we went to Shaky Knees a few years ago, I liked that one because it was walkable from the hotels.
That was pretty cool.
You could walk there. It was a little bit of a walk from where we were staying, but it was still doable. It was absolutely walkable from the hotels. We went to Voodoo years ago.
Oh, man.
Did not like that one at all. I liked the festival itself, but it was just so hard to get to and forth every day.
Yeah. I don't think there were many hotels that were within walking distance of that park in New Orleans. And I could be wrong. I just don't really remember at the moment. But we were at a hotel that was about 3 blocks from Bourbon Street and all the crazy stuff over there because it was Halloween weekend. We wanted to be around that as well. It was a pain in the butt to get back and forth from that area over to the park.
We left the festival, and the festival ended at like 11 or something. I can't remember. And we left, and it was like 4 a.m. before we actually made it to Bourbon Street, just by nature of trying to go back, trying to get an Uber, deciding that was too expensive, catching the train, just going back to the hotel, getting ready and going out. Like, it took us so long.
I never will forgive a certain someone for making me late to LCD Sound System.
That wasn't me.
It was not her. We won't get into that this week. There are city festivals I have come to love. Shaky Knees is one. I will be back to that one eventually. I really did like Forecastle up in Kentucky, in Louisville. Louisville's a fun town. I really liked it, but apparently it has gone away now. I really, really, really miss Sloss Fest in Birmingham. I think that one was my favorite, actually. Now, it was a fair walk away from convenient hotels as well. It was about a mile or so.
But they had vans. The hotel had vans that were taking people to the festival.
That helped.
Which helped a lot.
That was a great location for a little festival. And they're still doing that. There's that hardcore festival that happens. Furnace Fest is actually happening before too long. And I heard that sales picked up for it. So I love that it is proving that that is still a good venue for something like that.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Yeah. Again, we dealt with rain. That was kind of the problem that killed Sloss Fest down in Birmingham.
Exactly. So it was around for like, what, 3 years?
About 5, I want to say.
Really?
4 maybe?
Well, I remember the last 2 years that it happened, it got rained out, like both those years, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, it just kind of went under after that. Like, never came back.
It was a disappointing mess because the last year they had it, I want to say somebody did the math, and like well over half of the acts didn't get to take the stage because of rain and everything. And they communicated in their social media, hey, we're going to make this right. They never said the word refund, but they did say that they were going to make it right. And when they finally voiced something, they're like, we have made the difficult decision to close. And then that was the end of it.
And they never said anything else.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a PR problem for them as well.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would forgive it if they brought it back.
Oh, absolutely. I'd go. Well, it depends on who's playing, but I would most likely go.
But maybe we can assume that when South Star returns, it has kind of taken the place in this particular market in Alabama for a 2-day city festival like that.
So I got one for you.
What?
Big Spring Jam.
Okay, back up and tell everybody what that was.
So back in the days of Huntsville, back in, I don't know, it was around until like 2009, I want to say. Or it was either 2009 or 2011.
They briefly brought it back for a year or two, but it didn't last. No, I promise you they did, because they revamped it and they used the Von Braun Center over here in Huntsville for like one of the main shows. No, it is. You can look it up.
Okay, well, we'll look it up.
You guys look it up.
I don't think that's true, but
it is.
It was it was around till like 2009 or 2011, and it was a city festival, obviously, and it was in Big Spring Park in Huntsville, and I saw so many cool bands there. I saw Sugar Ray there. Remember?
That was a fun show. Yes. Well, story within a story, Sharla and I were getting on the rail for Sugar Ray because that was one of my favorites when I was like 13, 14, 15, which they still slap, and I would love to have them at Rue. Anyways, we get on the rail. We get there like a show before them. Some olds had put
family.
some... Yeah,
it was a family. It wasn't... Yeah.
They had put folding chairs right in front of the rail. And there was space from like, if you're watching on video, from like here to here between their chairs and the rail. And Charlotte and I were like, oh, cool. One of my favorite bands. I'm getting on the rail. I just got to wait like an hour and a half. We were there for like a good 45 minutes in front of those empty chairs. And then the family showed up and was like, y'all in front of us. I'm going to get security. And she waved her corn dog at me as if she was threatening me. I was not threatened.
It was a whole family. Well, anyway, Sugar Ray, obviously that turned into a pit, and I'm sure those chairs got destroyed.
Yeah, they played a Ramones song and it turned into a mosh pit. Yes.
I'm sure those chairs did not make it out.
I did not see those ladies.
Festivals don't allow chairs. That's one of the reasons. I'm not joking, because somebody probably got injured with those chairs. But back to my point, Big Spring Jam also died out because of bad weather, because it got rained out the last couple of years. It got completely rained out. Matter of fact, me and my mom tried to go once to Big Spring. It was like the last year of Big Spring Jam. My mom and I went to see, and this is going to date myself, but it was like when American Idol was like really, really famous. We went to see Bo Bice from American Idol.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
And we got in to the festival, and we were in there for like 5 minutes, and this giant cardboard box like blows out of nowhere and like blows us over. Anyways, we were in there for like 5 minutes, and they canceled the whole thing.
And you didn't get a refund or anything. I don't remember. This was a long time ago now.
I actually got to go back the next day, but I think the whole thing, I don't remember if it ended up being canceled. I actually got to go back the next day. Me and you went back the next day, but the next day we saw Casey and the Sunshine Band, so...
I think we might have also seen the Gin Blossoms that day.
Oh.
Which is funny because we saw them last year at South Star, and the one half of it we did get before it rained out.
I think you're right.
Yeah, because I loved them back in the 90s as well. And by the way, they put on a great show at South Star. They would be a good pick for Rue this coming year. That's one of my favorite slots at Rue, is like these throwback slots. Third Eye Blind is our favorite example, of course. But then there's been others. There was Cake one year. I think way back in the day before you and I started going, Weezer played. Already talked about one, Sugar Ray. Gin Blossoms would be a good one. A big pull, if they could pull it off and it wouldn't go in a 10, it would have to go on the which or even the what. Hear me out. Playing this game again. Hear me out. Creed.
Oh,
and I brought that up.
That would, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody would love that.
I think they would have to be sub-headliners or kind of a late-night headliner, if that makes any sense. go on immediately after the headliner on the What is done.
I have no idea, but
It would be awesome.
That would be
I would be
cool.
trying to get the rel for that. All right. We will be back in a bit to talk more about these kind of things and whatever other nonsense we come up with. But for right now, we've got a group that went to those 2 festivals, Riot Fest in Chicago and over in Atlanta, we got a crew that went to Shaky Knees. So let's hang out with them and we'll be right back in a minute. Guys, we have a crew of 4 people joining us tonight, and if you're watching on video, it looks a little bit like the Brady Bunch thing. I am so happy to have a couple of friends that we usually talk to and a couple of friends we don't typically have on the show very often. I'm going to get you guys to introduce yourselves and tell everybody where you're from and which of these festivals you hit up about a week and a half ago. Let's start with Christy.
All right. So, Christy, I went to Riot Fest for the first time. I guess it was technically my first time really in Chicago with other people besides like leaping over and looking at a couple sites. But I had an amazing time with everyone. I can't wait to talk about it.
All right. Next up, and I'm going kind of around the clock on the thing that we see on video. We've got Mike. You've been on. It's been a while. What's been going on, man?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Michael, a part of the Ruham podcast, Ruham Guys. Am a Riot Fest goer. This was my 7th one and many times in Chicago, but I am out of Des Moines, Iowa.
By the way, you and I need to connect because I'm going to be in Des Moines here in about 3 weeks.
Stop.
No,
Stop. Are you actually?
Yes, actually. I think Chloe's going to come down one night too.
What? Oh, we have to connect. I
right.
will get everyone in on this. Yes.
All right. That's the plan. All right. Well, since I name checked her, we'll go ahead and go to her. You guys know Chloe. She's on pretty frequently. Is that one of the cats behind you as well?
It is. This is Hash Brown. He's looking like a sphinx behind me. I wish he were facing us. I'm
Majestic
Chloe.
always.
I know, truly. He's posing just the wrong way. I'm Chloe. I'm up in Iowa, also a Riot Fest goer. This was number 8 for me. I was stoked to con Christy and a few of our other friends into going this year, and I had a great time as always, and I can't wait to talk about it. And to plan this Iowa party for when Dan comes to visit.
Oh, yeah. All right. We got to talk after we're done recording. All right. Certainly not least, we have
I'm Maria.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm up in upstate New York. I'm in the Albany area. And I went to Atlanta for the first time for Shaky Knees last weekend. It was a great time.
Well, I tell you what, Maria, since you and I are outnumbered by the people who are near Chicago, let's start out by talking about Shaky. So you told me not only was this your first Shaky, but it was your first time in Atlanta?
It was my first Shaky. It was my first time in Atlanta. And this year was my first Bonnaroo. And while it was not an ideal first Bonnaroo, it brought me, I stayed in Solo Roo. And the corner that I kind of was camped in, we all got along really well, kind of like have created our own camp sense. And so I stayed with someone who I met at Bonnaroo, and another girl from our camp flew out from Texas. So we had a little Bonnaroo reunion. That was really sweet.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to hear about your experience in town and with Shaky. But first of all, you got to tell us, like, what were some of the top shows that you saw there?
I mean, My Chemical Romance was, I have been thinking about that set a lot since it happened. My Chemical Romance, Alabama Shakes was like one of the people that I was most looking forward to, and I got really close. I was maybe like 8 rows back. And Black Keys. I think those were my big 3. Lenny Kravitz also, I didn't realize how much Lenny I knew. And I feel like his music has really just kind of been intertwined through my whole life, where one of my favorite things about the festival in general was I had really great kind of crews that I found naturally. So I kept telling people I love watching sets with a super fan of whoever that person is. Like, if I don't know their music well, but you love it, then I love it even more. And that kept happening. So I met a lot of cool people. I have a roll of film that should be back on Thursday. And there's a lot of people who I met just kind of in the crowd that I have photos of that I'm excited to get those back and see who I can find.
Ooh, post some of those on our Discord. I think we'd all like to see that.
I got to meet Bosco in person for the first time because him and I were supposed to work a volunteer shift on Friday when everything got canceled at Rue. And so we never got to meet in person on the farm. But I did get to find him. And I know he found Maddie and Shayna. I didn't see them in person, but it's you could feel anyone who had Bonnaroo merch on, I felt just like this kindredness with, and I found a lot of people from the farm just kind of naturally.
That's so cool. I want to second your motion about Lenny Kravitz. I saw him, goodness, it must have been about 6 or 7 years ago now. He is fantastic. He would be a great pig to have on the farm. He puts on such a good
Yes.
show. He's such a
So good
charismatic
live.
guy.
Yeah.
So what did you think about Shaky in general? And because you got kind of a new experience because they were in a new location this year. How did that work out?
Yeah, I heard a lot of people. I didn't do much research in the old venue, but I heard a lot of people comparing. I loved it, honestly. I feel like it fulfilled all of the things that I wanted it to. And I really kind of went in with no expectations. The contrast of like how much planning I did for Rue, and I also drove from upstate New York to Tennessee. So it was just like a lot of effort to then not get what I thought I was going to get out of it. So I did the opposite this time, where I was like, I'm going to show up and like, hopefully I see some music. But the music really surpassed my expectations. And I did really like the layout of, they had kind of the two main stages in one field. And it was close enough that you could see both at the same time. I have like one of the Chase credit cards that got me perks at this like Chase kind of deck in the middle of the main field. And
That's cool.
from up there, you could see both main stages. You were closer to the like Peachtree main stage, but you could still see the other one. And so like Friday, I was up there all night. I watched Lenny Kravitz from up there, and then the Marias, and then the Deftones. And I feel like it was a great vantage point. They only let like 30 people at a time up there. And so once you left, and if it was full, it was full. You can't get back up. But that was a really nice perk. One stage I actually didn't make it to at all. It was kind of tucked kind of more in the corner. I think it was the smallest of the 4 stages. But that was also because since I was like reuniting with my friends, I didn't really go for the first half of the day. I went more in the evening for the second half. But it was enough for me. I had a great time.
Well, good deal. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you liked the new location. Did you get to do anything else cool in Atlanta while you were in town?
I really kind of like laid low. It was a lot of travel. I worked like an open to close shift the night before I flew in. So my travel days were really packed. The friend who I stayed with, fiance, is a chef. And so I ate really well without having to like try very hard. It was like a real food relaxation and catching some sets vacation. But I feel like I came back from Shaky feeling as like fulfilled as I thought I was going to come back from Bonnaroo feeling. Like I really got that like big festival feeling, even though it was a city fest. And it was fun too. Even like I am big on public transportation and like utilizing getting around on trains and buses and stuff. So getting to like bond with people on the bus on the rides home. Like I met one of the guys who did sound at the main stage on Saturday night on the way home, where then Sunday I could like walk right up to the main stage and be like, oh, hey, Mark, it's Maria from the bus last night. How are you doing? So I feel like that kind of community aspect, getting to linger out into the city, was really fun. But Atlanta left a great first impression on me. I will definitely be back.
I'm biased, but it's one of my favorite towns in the world. There's a little bit of everything to do in town, especially if you have a good guide like you had. You should always hit up our buddy Mitchell or Andrew or Maddie or Shayna if you're in town. We all know some weird places, and I'm sure they will try to get you to Mr. C's, but I promise there's plenty of others to see in town as well.
I need to get to Mr. C's for sure.
Ed is a local legend. Well, thank you, Maria. I'm so happy to have the report. Stick around with us if you'd like. I think we're going to jump over to here.
I'm excited to hear.
Yeah. All right, guys. We got 3 that were at Riot Fest in Chicago. I want to kick it off, and any of you feel free to take this one. Sell me on Riot Fest. Sharla and I were just talking about this, about how it looks like we're going to have to come up there sooner or later, one of these years. The timing is good. It would work out for us. Tell me, like, what is the vibe of Riot Fest? What sets it apart from other festivals?
I was going to say, I don't know who wants to go. I can go first. Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah. So I think the easiest way to kind of say this is, so I look at Bonnaroo, for example, and I love to compare like the two in that, where one of my first interactions with just a random person, it just so happened, it's like the only 2 fests that they go to are Bonnaroo and Riot Fest, which I thought was kind of incredible because at that point I'd gone to Riot Fest a couple years, but Rue, like, it was just my first year there. And for some reason, even though it's almost primarily a punk festival, if you love anything and everything about punk music, whichever way it be, you kind of feel like you're at home. But even though like the ethos might be a little scary for those that might not know, it almost feels like Ruin that like everyone's super down to chat, everyone's super down to talk, to make jokes, have almost like a cynical yet fun sense of humor where everyone just kind of gets the unspoken rule of it all. And it's just it's all like there's VIP and there's like deluxe and extra seating, but really it feels like a GA fest all in through. It's super central as far as getting there, and yeah, just the vibe and the shows are awesome. Like the shows are very much, if you love punk music, everyone that's there is so happy to be playing there, and that's just such a huge thing. That's kind of my big sell on it.
All right, so I'm going to take it to the ladies in a second, but Michael, I want to hear what were your favorite shows this past week.
So one of my favorite bands of all time is Blink-182. Yeah, it's actually how Jake and I became really good friends from that same love. So seeing that for the first time with Tom back in the band, just because I'd missed every single show before, it was everything I wanted and more. I remember sending a text saying, that might be one of the greatest sets I've ever seen, and it sounds hyperbolic, but it was just everything was just exactly how I'd always imagined seeing them as a kid. But other than that, like Idols, I thought was incredible, especially with Jack White showing up during the set.
What? I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
Idols?
so
Idols
during
was great at Shaky. I didn't have a ton of energy for their set, so I kind of sat on the hill and watched from afar. But they were definitely up there. I love that we all got to see Blink in the last week, even though it wasn't together.
Yeah. Mike,
Truly.
I was just about to ask you, did they have the flaming middle finger for the last song?
Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they
Yeah,
did. And it's always so funny seeing what they do different because, like, I've seen them a few times with Skiba, and it's like they'll have like the flaming fuck in large letters, or just something else. Like, I had a friend up in the pit, and like the confetti, I didn't even realize that the confetti was literally just like literal sperm.
Yes, we got that too. Yeah.
So it's so playful, and I love every bit of it. Green Day was super fun. Idols was my second favorite set of the weekend. The Wonder Years is a band I love, and that was super fun too. Knocked Loose just completely knocked it out of the park yet again. Just everything. Like, if they ever want to come back to Rue, I'd be happy for it. I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but I would love it.
All right. Thank you for the review, sir. Now, ladies, I'm assuming this checks out with your experience as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, compared to Bonnaroo, which I've been going since 2015, even though it was so different, but it was still so similar with just the vibe of everyone. There was no one there that was not pretty much radiating any positivity for a lot of people that were just dressed super emo, which is so funny. So different, but it was just I never saw anyone be rude to anyone. Everyone did what they had to do. They were there to go have a common interest in all this music, but also just having such a free mind. But also, I also really enjoyed the fact that it was something that was so welcoming that people could speak their mind, whether that was just clothing and the things that were said on their clothing. And I'm sitting next to Chloe pointing them out, being like, that shirt's amazing. And I loved every minute of just the environment there.
Give us an example. What are some of the things you saw on shirts?
I mean, one of them Chloe purchased. It was I drink warm beer because fuck ice.
That's amazing.
I saw that exact shirt on Friday. It was awesome.
Yeah, so there was a lot of those similar shirts, and just silly things, and people were just wearing what they wanted to wear and being free, and that's all you want to see in a festival. The music was awesome. Sunday was probably the most I've came out of going back to high school and all that music. We had Hanson to all Cobra Starship, and the Wonder Years was playing too. We heard them walking past them. Gym Class Heroes with Travis McCoy, and then Carbo Starship brought out Travi and I can't remember his name from the Wonder Years, and had them come out and do Snakes on a Plane, and that we all just transcended into like back to high school days where MySpace was still happening. But it was incredible. I'm like goosebumps. But seeing even Blink-182 all back together again, I've seen them pre that. And also Green Day just freaking killed it. And one of my favorite things, I don't think I showed Chloe, or maybe she already saw it in our shared album, but I took a video of her and her mom just living their best life together, and a cute picture of them, and that was probably my highlight.
Oh, that's so sweet. All right, Chloe, you're up.
That's
What were
pretty
some of
cute.
your favorites this past week?
When I sell people on Riot Fest, I like to say that it simultaneously makes me feel super young and super old, because it really like hits this niche of like music from your youth, whether that's like our shared youth or like, you know, people that are older than us, their youth, because they really do run the gamut of like music from lots of ages. They get, reunion acts, and they get stuff that's current, pop punk, kind of all in that genre. So it's like music from your youth, that like you're like makes you feel young, and you're jumping around and you're killing it during the set, and then the set's over and you're like, oh my god, my knees sound like glow sticks, like what happened, like someone get the Tums, like I need the ibuprofen out. But it's like you're just in it and you're living it and you're having the best time, like, and everyone is there for that, and everyone is just having a great time, and the crowd really is awesome. Like it really is just people there having a great time, and it is like all ages. Like you see like cutie little baby kids like dressed up by their punker parents in like little leather vests and like their cute little earmuffs. And then you see like grandma and grandpa trudging by with like their little seats. And I'm like, God, we're all just thriving. It really is. It really is great. It's such a good city fest, and it's like locally owned. And I think they take feedback from attendees really seriously, which is awesome. Like it's just A+. I mean, there's a reason I've gone 8 years. It's so much fun.
So you hit on something that I was going to ask you guys about. Sharla and I were talking about Shaky in the bit that we recorded already, that it is, since it's kind of in the middle of Atlanta, it's not that hard to find a hotel. Is Riot Fest pretty close to some nice hotels that are in walkable distance?
I don't know. I stay with friends, so I've never had to look. But it's in kind of a weird spot. It has like pretty easily accessible transportation. I don't know about where to stay though.
I would say as far as like stays go, it's really easy to get to because the Chicago L system, it's just truly one train off the Pink Line. As far as the
Okay.
actual park itself, there might be a couple Airbnbs, but it's mostly, since it's a park in a neighborhood, it's mostly just kind of like it's like fully residential. But everyone kind of in the neighborhood is aware, and like they have all of that set up where it's pretty simple getting there. They just make getting there a lot easier because of that. But it's a 15-minute train ride from the Loop, so, and then there's
Well, that
millions of
makes it
hotels
easy.
from there. Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. If and when Charlotte and I do come up, it's starting to sound like it might be more of a win. Now, there is one other thing I want to talk about before we get out of here. Can we please give whatever praise is necessary to whoever is running the socials of Riot Fest? They have been on fire for the past week and a half. Is this kind of like par for the course for the attitude that you see at the fest?
Yearly.
Yeah. Like whoever's doing their Twitter, like that is how they always are. Like that is their vibe all the time. It's amazing. Yeah.
Even as like a
so
first
good.
timer, and like just seeing the lore of having John Stamos come for the last 13 years, and that they made it like, this is what I require for me to come, and like the owner got a tattoo of John Stamos, and like there's all these things that it just seems like that just fits in the whole picture of Riot Fest. Like there's a butter sculpture of John Stamos there too. Like, but I loved it. What was different too about it is like I love that there's also like a community like fair. Like there's a carnival. There's games. You can win prizes, like the basketball game, like the water gun game, throwing games, and they get a prize and walk out with like a toy. Um, there was one crazy ride that was spinning around that was like not like a scarier Ferris wheel, but it just like it was that's par for the course. Like it was just pretty much spot on. It doesn't surprise me with the Twitter.
The
I'm
lore
sold.
of
I don't
Riot
know
Fest
when-
is bonkers.
I don't
Yeah.
know when it's going to be, but we're going to be up there. Maybe not next year, but maybe in 27. All right, you got my
Like,
pinky
you're
promise,
telling
Charlotte.
me.
and
I
are
hope
talking
they're
about-
not the same weekend next year.
Oh, that's true.
I was gonna say Shaky moved over to Riot Fest weekend now. I get it, but I'm a little mad that they did because I wanted to go
Yeah,
to
it's a
Shaky Knees.
bummer. It's a comp-
Shaky is fun. It has slightly similar vibes and probably a fair amount of overlap between Riot Fest, just by nature of it being a rock forward festival. I don't know that it has like the same like FU vibes that Riot Fest has. There's a little bit of it there, but it does have like a touch more of the Atlanta style of Southern hospitality in the best ways. We'll have to trade. You guys should come experience Shaky in Atlanta, and then we'll come to Riot Fest. It's just a shame they're on the same weekend now, apparently.
A cultural exchange. It'll be great.
Yeah,
We'll
there
see
you
for
go.
next year.
I think
That's-
Charmel would like for you to go down to Atlanta for her this time, Chloe.
It's my turn to go to Atlanta, I think, for sure.
You will also end up at Mr. C's at 4 a.m. and then you will start questioning your life choices like the rest of us.
God, I'm scared.
And we also were gifted with Jums being on his world tour, and he made a stop to hang out with us at Riot Fest. Except I want to say he made the stop. Him and I bought tickets at the same time. And the sadness of us at Nashville that Bonnaroo got canceled.
I know.
Had too
We're
many
gonna have-
things to drink, and all of a sudden we had tickets.
We're going to have to do a whole episode getting him to talk about the Jums World Tour and all of the places that he's shining his butthole.
Yes.
Like, he's on his international leg now. Listen, I don't even want to say like where he's at now, where he's going. He's been talking about this on the Discord. When he finally comes to wherever home is, I'm going to get him to detail all these things. He says he's going to Burning Man this coming year, and I believe him. If Jum says he's going to do something, by God, he does it.
Yeah. Well, the trip that he's currently on, he booked when I landed pretty much in Chicago. So, and then he left Monday. So he doesn't matter the timeline. He'll just pull the trigger and go. But it's
Are
on
we
the
sure
best
that
time.
he's not like some Jason Bourne type or something?
What if? I always joke that he's my Carmen Sandiego. Like he's our Carmen Sandiego. Like, where is he? Who's to say?
Yeah. Can't keep track.
Well, guys, thank you so much for the reports from Atlanta and Chicago. And yes, I will be coming to Riot Fest one of these days, probably in the next 2 or 3 years. We're in with you guys. And it sounds like we're going to have like a little mini get together in Des Moines here in a couple of weeks. Now, hey, wait, Michael, are some of the rest of the Ruham crew also in Des Moines?
Yes, Parker specifically. He's about an 8-minute drive from my apartment. So yeah.
All right. Well, we'll corral him into this too. So we'll talk offline. It looks like we'll be doing a bit of this pod in Des Moines here in about 3 weeks.
I can't wait.
All right. But again, thank you everyone for the reports. Glad you all had a good time. Talk to you soon.
Love you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thank you everyone for jumping on the call with us and talking about those two festivals.
Hey, we're making a quick edit because I was waiting on you to call out the Patreon.
Why didn't you tell me so?
Because I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, were we on a roll or something? Anyways, we're trying something a little different this week. If you're watching the video, you're seeing your name scroll on the screen right now. We're going to try this a little different. We're going to do things a little, wonky and different for the next couple of weeks as we're finalizing how we're doing our video episodes. We're almost there. Thank you to everybody for contributing to Totem through our Patreon. You can learn more at totemfnd.org if you want to learn about Totem.
So there's a little bit of a Totem update. We are planning to have the scholarship applications open by October the 15th.
Yes, we had a
And
good
you
board
guys
call.
are the first people to know that also.
Okay. Charlotte's got the exclusives. But yeah, you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Rubus. And again, learn more about Totem at totemfnd.org. Oh, before we go back and cut to the other part of this edit, I'm wearing this on purpose. Like the Braves didn't make the playoffs, but I'm wearing this out of spite. Mostly to spite the Mets. Come beat the Mets. All right, that was really fun. All right, back to our regular episode. Do you have FOMO now?
A little bit.
What
I
is
think I have more FOMO for Riot Fest.
what is FOMO after the fact? Because you already missed out.
Oh,
regret of missing out.
regret
so
of
it's
missing out. Romo?
Romo, yes. Yeah, I do want to try Riot Fest.
Yes, we should.
Chloe is pumping her fist right now while she's listening and
Chloe
watching this.
always goes.
Yeah. Wait, can we get into something for a moment? And I'm sure Chloe won't mind us talking about this. Everyone needs to follow the saga of Chloe and her squirrel friend on her front driveway.
Yes.
I have loved getting these updates for the past week. So I can't remember if it is Squirrelithy or Squirrelium. It's one or the other. But he has now started to eat out of her hand. This has been the big news from her house in Iowa the past couple of weeks, and I've loved following it along.
Iowa, what happens there?
Well, now we know. Squirrels, that's what happens there. I'm about to learn what happens there. I'm going there for work in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
Now, I want to tease something that we're going to talk about more next week, because 2 nights from now, after we record this, I am taking you to the Von Braun Center here in Huntsville to see the Back to the Future musical.
Yes, I'm very excited about it.
I saw this in New York when I was up there for work, and we also got to hang out with friends. I saw it, just off of Broadway, or maybe it was on Broadway. Whatever, doesn't matter. I saw it. It was amazing. I don't want to tell you too much, or any of you guys too much, because obviously it's the movie on stage, but then there's some really cool stuff that happens, and it's awesome how it happens. Now, I know you're not really a big, play or musical person, right?
Not usually, no, but I am excited about this because you've hyped it up so much.
Yes, it's so cool.
I hope it's exciting.
So next week, when we record, I want to get your review of what you thought.
Okay.
I don't want to say too much right now, other than to say this is now a traveling show. So if it's coming near you, I highly encourage you to go see it. And also, I think it's worth it to pay a little extra to get up front. And I don't want to tell you why, because there's so many cool things that happen in the show you're going to see for yourself in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. What other live shows like that have we seen together?
Oh, gosh.
One of our first dates in the first year or two that we were together was going to see the Rocky Horror Show at the University of North Alabama. The drama department put that on. You were like, hey, you should go with me. And I was like a little, not resentful, but I was like, I don't know about this in my head. I was like, this might be silly. I think I saw the movie once. I'm like, how are they going to do this? And then we went, and Frankenfurter was wearing the full suit, the pieces that Frankenfurter has and the pieces that he doesn't. And that whoever that was, I found out that we have friends of friends. We're loosely connected to that person. They were amazing. I'll tell you later. But they were amazing. That was the kind of thing that got me thinking oh, wait, maybe I actually do like stage plays and musicals now, because that was fun.
That's cool.
What else have we seen?
I don't remember.
We saw Monty Python Spamalot.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yes.
And Warwick Davis was in it.
Warwick
He had
Davis,
a part.
yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And listen, I'm going to tell you guys something. If you ever go to a show in New York or even London, we've learned, and some of you that do these kind of things, you know this already, you're going to be like, duh. If you go hang out outside near the door, you can meet the actors after the fact. And Charlie got to meet Warwick Davis that night.
That's the highlight of my life. One of the highlights.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And if you don't remember who that is, he was
he's the main character in Willow.
Yeah, Willow, a number of Ewoks in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
He was 3 or 4 different characters in Harry Potter, remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah.
Apparently he's in the reboot now.
He was also the leprechaun from Leprechaun.
I've never sin those.
Me neither.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That was one of those movies that looked too scary for me when I was a kid.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't do well with scary movies. That's why I'm not big on horror now, maybe. Because I wasn't into it when I was a kid or a teenager. It went from
I'll have to put you on.
Well, no, there's some horror movies I like. I've always called out Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon.
That's a really good
favorite.
movie. I don't think that's a horror movie, though.
Psychological horror, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's another piece of homework I'm going to give you. Come back with a couple of horror movie recommendations. Because it's almost Halloween now.
So.
Yeah, it's almost October. All right. Well, next week, we'll be back with Charlotte's review of the Back to the Future thing, and it is not too far away from Halloween. We are planning a really fun video episode for that. We're taking a number of pieces of new equipment that me and Charlotte have invested in down there. That is going to be a video first episode. You can listen to it, but it's going to be a lot cooler if you watch. I have enlisted a lot of help. Shayna is going to be my spirit guide down at Halloween. She has promised to show me the Wook ways down there. So I think she's going to be doing her tiny mic bit while we're down there at Halloween. Now do you have fear of missing out?
No.
No? You don't regret your decision to stay home?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, but yeah, that is coming up soon. We might have another preview episode. I don't know. Anyways, we'll see you next week. We'll figure out what we're doing then. Get out there and radiate positivity. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right, wait, we're back here because we realized we had the opportunity for a cat conference. Wait, that's Ash?
Yes.
Oh. And then we got Hash Brown.